Hi, it's Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky. I'm back with my plans and pans just 1 week before what I believe is the most important election of my lifetime, and maybe yours as well. And I want to let you know, if you have any questions at all about where, when, about any of the rules of voting in Chicago, Elections.IL.Gov, and you can get all the answers that you need. But be sure and vote, it's so important. I had the opportunity to spend some time in Crystal Lake because they had some issues with flooding, etc. And I am so proud that I was able to get some community funding for them and to be able to save Crystal Creek. This is a problem of flooding, and this will be able to alleviate that. We went out there on an absolutely gorgeous day by Crystal Creek, but we also saw that the schools, 2 of them, were nearby and had been affected by this flooding too. So I was able to present them with over $1 million. And Bill Foster, who also represents a good part of Crystal Lake, was there too. And it's always great to do something local in a part of my district. Very happy about that. And then both Bill Foster and I went to meet with a fabulous organization. I've known them for quite a while, NAMI, the National Association on Mental Health, the largest organization of its kind in the country, and it's all over our communities, and I'm so happy to be able to meet with them. These are professionals who are able to provide the kinds of services that seem to be especially needed right now. So a lot of anxiety. Some people are still just recovering from the pandemic. And I was very happy to meet with their executive director there and talk to their staff and mention how much I want to give support to addressing the problems of mental health issues. And then I had a wonderful meeting in the city of Chicago at a place called Admiral at the Lake Senior Living. And these people are sharp as a tack. A lot of them wanted to talk about the election, had a lot of questions about what has been and what we might foresee going on in Washington as we end up this election cycle. But they also wanted to hear about what's in it for seniors. As I think I've told many of you before, I am the co-founder of the House Democratic Task Force on Aging and Families, because senior issues have always been my primary issue, even before I was a senior citizen, as I am well into that now, as you know. But I wanted to talk to them about the priorities that I have. And certainly one of them is protecting and expanding Social Security. Those benefits are too low, and we easily, if we ask some of the more wealthy people in our country to pay a little bit more into Social Security, we will have it solvent for years to come and even be able to raise the benefits. You know, in the United States of America, we do not have a comprehensive long-term care policy. People are left on their own, and it is very difficult to find the kind of housing, the kinds of financial ability to be able to carry on as we age in the United States. So I want a long-term care policy. Once a year, it is my pleasure to go and speak to these students at Niles North High School and to talk to all the kids of Mr. Sharma. He's a fantastic teacher. So there were about 100 kids there this week, and I'm telling you, they were ready for questions. I left almost all the time to just their questions. So for an hour and 15 minutes, I was bombarded with incredibly smart, thoughtful questions and happy to answer them all. There were questions that I don't think you'll be surprised about: gun violence, about reproductive rights, about only 3 of the students were eligible to vote in this upcoming election. Many of them were seniors, but not quite old enough to vote, but lots of opinions on everything. And so I absolutely did my best. They were asking about foreign policy, about what's going on in the Middle East. There were a number of questions about that. I mean, you name it, they asked it. And I was really, really enjoying being with them. My Senator Dick Durbin, one of my 2, did a field hearing on the cost of prescription drugs. Members of Congress from the Chicago area, I being one of them and several others as well, had an opportunity to talk about it. And I made sure that it wasn't known that the pharmaceutical industry is the most profitable of any industry in the country. And they now are charging what I feel is unreasonable costs. And by that I mean Americans pay 2 to 3 times as much for the exact same drug that is offered in other countries. I mean, I'm talking about the exact same drug than any people around the world. And I'm sure you may be among those that really can't afford to get your drugs. And I mentioned how I was at the pharmacy. It's over a year ago now, but I know that it's happened again, where a woman asked how much it was going to cost, and she was told by the pharmacist, I'm sorry to say, but it's about $300. She just turned around and said, I can't do that, and walked away. We have been able, through the Inflation Reduction Act, which was something that the Biden-Harris administration did, we now have, at least for the seniors, negotiation for 10 of the most popular drugs. And we know that there is a cap now. For a year, it will be $2,000. And that goes into effect right away as well. And we know that insulin is only $35 a month, again, for seniors. But, you know, I made the point at Dick Durbin's hearing. Insulin costs about $1 to make, $1 to make. And yet, when they can, the big pharma companies, the pharmaceutical companies, can charge hundreds of dollars in order to get a month's worth. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So I am very anxious to work in the next Congress, and I hope that we'll have the team to do it, to say no to Big Pharma, to extend the benefits that seniors have right now to everyone in the country. But it's just outrageous that we pay more than anyone in the rest of the world for our drugs, and they are often lifesavers. And so people sometimes have to make a choice between paying the rent, having food on the table, or being able to get their life-saving drugs. It's not right. So I want to say to all of you, happy Halloween. I have some very scary faces in front of my house, and they say, vote or else. Note, I didn't tell them how they should vote, but vote. And we've got our candies. I have to tell you the truth, I have dug into the candies already. So I'm glad when the day actually comes, I just give the kids all the rest of the candies. Thank you for watching my video. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, where my handle is Jan Schakowsky.